Let's do a quick Burning Man update. Little Burning Man leak session. Yeah.
Burning Man leak session. Okay.
Welcome to the camp of the unknown
Coming to you live from
Burning Man.
Yes, folks, we are making a lot of great progress on the content, the research content that will be coming out from the Burning Man trip. But I wanted to take a second and keep you posted on some other fun stuff that happened. I mentioned the drones. The drones showed up when I was first at Burning Man in 2018. They were interesting, and we had been talking about drone swarms and the capabilities thereof back then. But they were on full display this year. And, you know, I mentioned they made it so they were basically creating gigantic screens in the sky via the drones, which was fun. You could play like little video games on it and stuff like that. I do have this footage here, Gons. Are you playing? I'm
playing it now. The pyramid has come down from the sky and
yes,
touched the earth.
This was one of the drone shows that I caught. The first one. Oh, it's just completely filled with all the wonderful, you know, drone symbolism or occult symbolism done via drones. You've got the upside down pyramid that then morphs into sort of a portal type thing. It started off with a double helix DNA strand. Then now I sped this one up a little bit just for the sake of the show. And then it turned into a little particle going through some hoops. And I kind of saw it as a CERN, you know, quantum nonsense type of situation. And then that, thank goodness, morphed into a gigantic face that then sort of floated over the whole crowd and looked sternly down upon us. Isn't that fun?
Well, the finale of that is just crazy.
When it just disappears. When
it disappears and all you see is the eye.
Yes. Now, next up, is the eyeball. This one really tripped me out.
Okay, so you edited that. I thought the face turned into the eye. I was like, whoa, they turned on the lights and there's an eye.
Well, the eye was trippy, man. Now, it's not so great. I was filming this with my phone, and you can kind of see the individual drones when I do filmed it with my phone. But when you're watching it with the naked eye, first of all, this eyeball is a perfectly photorealistic eyeball. You can barely, it's not like the sort of abstraction from the other drone show. I was about a mile away from this thing, and it was humongous. It had to be about 100 to 200 feet tall and, about 50 feet in the sky. And, like I said, when you're watching it not through a phone, you don't notice that it's individual drones.
The pixels.
It looks like a perfect hologram of a photorealistic eyeball floating above the entire, skyline of the outer playa there. And as the people who are watching, you can see the eyeball blinks. And when it blinks, the color of the eyeball changes. It's a really, really trippy effect. This particular drone show really had me convinced that, an Operation Bluebeam type of situation, I think would be ready now.
Oh, easy. They're well beyond the technology to be able to fool everybody with this stuff.
Yeah. And I got to stop and talk to one of the drone guys who works and puts these shows on. And I think this particular drone show had 1,000 drones, 1,000 drones all working at once. And let me tell you, the sound of a drone, the zzz type of thing, is terrifying to hear 1,000 of them with the lights on, and they're projecting a perfect photorealistic single eyeball from the sky looking down at you. That's terrifying. But you know what is even more terrifying? When the lights go off and you can't see 1,000 drones swarming above your head. And you just simply hear the whizzing and whirring of 1,000 little death machines just waiting to be given their targets.
Wow.
The drone experience truly was one of the craziest ones at this Burning Man, really showcasing, of course, we know the military applications of drones. And as far as the culture in Burning Man, the culture is a confusing thing. And I'll talk more about this in some of the episodes. We tend to think of Burning Man as like the most liberal, the most leftist, the most blah, blah, blah.
Progressive.
A real pinnacle of, radical progressivism. There is a strange through line of conservatism at Burning Man. And that manifests in a couple different ways. I'm not going to go through now, but lots of people that I talked to about the drones, not the drone operators or the guys, but other people, they're like, oh yeah, cool eyeball. Why don't you go, commit some war crimes and murder people at a wedding with your drone swarm? Everybody was very aware of just how sort of terrifying this was. And I took this in a different way. We might want to consider like, oh, these leftist, crazy, crunchy hippies, they love drones. They're all on board. When in reality, they were all quite afraid, or at least the ones that I talked to. They were not, it's almost as if these drone art shows were an attempt to like convince these Burning Man people that like drones are cool. A lot of these people were not buying it. They're like, I don't trust them. I don't like them. I'm not into it. Well, I hate them. I hate these drones.
The art-elect war is coming, and to do so, everybody's going to be aware of the information provided, and they'll choose sides. So it's not surprising that you'd find a lot of, because the heart of Burning Man was sort of this anti-establishment type of thing, at least when it started.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm glad you brought that up, because this will be in some of the episodes as well. Even in the psychedelic researcher, scholar, guy lectures, very, very pro-government, way more pro-government in the psychedelic lectures than I ever would have expected.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there you go. There's just a little taste. As usual, it'll take us a few weeks to get all of the Burning Man episodes out, but I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah. Well, it's good.